Well, welcome to the Kristi Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Hey friends, welcome back to another great week on the podcast. Going to talk to you about, let me just give you some encouragement that you are doing better than you think. I want to talk to you about this today because, if you listen to me, we probably have a lot in common and we're probably really hard on ourselves. If it's classic for me and probably for you to often feel like that we're behind, or I should be doing more or better. And I want to just kind of nip that in the bud today and talk to you about that because you are doing way better than you're giving yourself credit for. Also, this is January. This is going to be like, by the time this goes live, this will be, I believe, the third week in January. And this is also the time when, especially if you've wanted to implement a lot of changes in your life or in your career at this point, it's like you're already starting to feel the weight of that, maybe some of the challenges that are coming about because of what you're wanting to do differently. And so it's kind of weighing on you a little bit. You're kind of realizing like, ugh, I'm not doing this as good as I wanted to, or this is harder than I thought it was going to be. So tune in. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Real quick, have the braids. If you're watching on YouTube channel, super cash today. I'm recording this over the weekend. We are leaving town. Actually, it's not that far, but about 2 hours from the house, but we're got an invite to go to the American Express Open PGA golf tournament and to the part for tomorrow, and be part of this event that they're doing there. And so I'm excited to do that. My husband loves golf. I'm not so much into golf. But super grateful that my sister-in-law gave us the invite to go and be a part of this and do this. It's going to be super fun. But I'm just saying, like, I appreciate golfers. I appreciate every sport. I'm a sports girl. All right. So there's really not a sport that I'm not going to be like, I want to go, I want to be a part of it. So I'm all into sports. And I appreciate golfing in particular. Like, I appreciate how flippin' hard it is. Like the ball, like a ball this big, and how, I mean, I've tried playing golf. I'm horrible at it. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, if I can swing 3 times and eventually hit the ball, it's a win. So, and also the thing that I'm kind of nervous, I'm gonna tell you, because if you are here every week and you're hanging out with me, like, I'm gonna tell you this stuff. I'm gonna let you in on some of my things, but I get a little nervous in the whole golf environment because it's just really quiet. And am I a quiet person? I mean, let's be real. No, I love to talk. And I also, like, the thing with golf that like always throws me off is that, and I've never been to like a PGA tournament. I'm just saying golf in general, like the few times I've been on a golf course and been invited to play in a scramble or whatever. It's so I love being outdoors. I love all the beauty of it, but why do we have to be quiet when someone's going to hit the ball? Because my brain, like, I'm like basketball, football, like baseball, like people are yelling, they're like cheering, they're like making noises. I mean, and in football, like my son was a kicker in football, and that's the one time that the crowd, like, they're screaming, they're yelling, they want, they're trying to disrupt the situation, right? With crowd noise and all of that. I mean, I love sports because it's just I love the noise and I love the passion behind sports. But golf is like, I was telling my husband, you have to be like, shh, quiet. Okay, he's gonna hit the ball. I'm like, Okay, hit the ball. Like, let's go. Like, does it have to be quiet? So, this is going to be interesting to say the least. I'm going to be on my best behavior tomorrow, my best golf behavior that I can possibly be. Wish me luck. Okay, I'll report back to you next week and let you know how it goes. Okay, glad I got that off my chest because I am kind of nervous about it because I'm just not the prototype, I guess you might say. So I will be on my best behavior for golf life, and we'll just see how it works out. My husband's super excited, super excited. Okay, I'm more like, what's the temperature? What do I wear? When do we get snacks? I mean, those are the things I'm worried about. Like, I need to eat, go to the bathroom, all the things. So, anyways, all right. So, let me get to what I came on here to talk to you about today, because enough about that. But I just wanted you to know that's why I look the way I do, because I'm getting this done before we leave in the morning. Okay. So, you are doing better than you think. Trust me on this. Like, I'm uber hard on myself. I know most likely you are really hard on yourself. And a lot of times when we have a lot of expectations on our abilities and what we want to create in our life, that we there what honestly what commonly comes about is that feeling that you're falling behind, that you feel like you're falling behind, you're not where you should be. And can I just quiet like that inner chatter and frenzy that might be going on inside of your brain? Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. We are never behind. I know I have felt that way before. Like, I'm thinking I should be further along, or I should be in this phase, or something I'm working on. Like, I feel like I should be further along in it, right? And I can tell you from my 54 years of experience of living on this earth and all of the experience that I've gained professionally and 23 years now as a business owner, that you are not, if especially if you're wired like this, trust me, you are not falling behind. You are always exactly where you need to be. And you have to trust the divine order of that and know that you are where you are supposed to be, what you're supposed to be learning at that point. And it's just common to feel like sometimes, especially if you have a certain goal you're wanting to hit, or you have a lot of aspirations, or you're wanting to build a life that you freaking love. Sometimes you just feel like you're falling behind, but trust me when I say you are not. You are right on time. Okay, so I want you to focus on the small wins. If you have listened to my podcast last month in December, I shared with you a habit that I'm wanting to create this year in my life, and that's doing a better job of tracking my weekly wins. And so I want you to, I encourage you, join me on this, like do it with me. And all I'm doing is writing down my wins for the week. And when I say wins for the week, like even the things that I just feel really good about, that I like, I spent my time in the way I wanted to spend my time, with whom I spent my time with. And it might be, I hit a goal or something really cool that I got to do that I've been wanting to do. But whatever it is, it's writing it down, and then I'm folding it up and I'm putting it in a jar, a really pretty jar, because I like cute things. Okay. But you can put it in whatever you want. Collect them wherever you want to. But I'm keeping track of those small wins each week. So I'm like writing down so far, like I'm jotting down two, three, sometimes four things for the week. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to revisit those. That means I'm going to pull it all out. So, I might, as the year goes on, I might not pull out all of them, but I'm going to pull out, a handful of them. I'm going to read through those because I want to keep it fresh on my brain of my small wins. And then my goal is then at the end of the year, maybe like on New Year's Eve, I'm going to dump them all out and I'm going to go through all of them for the whole year and just really appreciate, and really, I just feel like it will also keep, that gratefulness and gratitude front and center. So that's what I'm doing. I encourage you to do that with me. There is another episode I did in December. I can't think of the episode number right now. I will find it in the show notes, or I'll find it and then I'll put it in the show notes below in case you want to go listen to that one. But that's what I'm doing for this year. So let's let's keep track of the small wins. And I want to include because if you are an ambitious person listening to this, you're probably like, maybe you're not giving yourself credit for some of the things that are going good and that you're on track with and making progress with because it's not like the pinnacle. It's not like you're not at that goal yet, right? Because you're just really hard on yourself. So you're like, no, I'm not going to recognize that because I'm not all the way to the finish line. And so what I want to share with you is you need to kind of dissect your week and look at even the things that you would be like, well, yeah, I should be doing that because I do this all the time. I just assume like, well, yeah, I mean, I should be doing that, you know? Well, I should be going to the gym five or 6 days a week. I should, right? But the fact that I did, that I kept my commitment to myself, that I've stayed consistent with my commitment that I've made to myself on my health and wellness, like absolutely I should recognize that as a win. Even if I'm not at the exact like goal that I've set for myself, you still have to recognize the progress along the way. And so as we are going through this month of the new year, I just want to make sure that you don't like just kind of feel like you're like I said that you're falling behind or like I can't do this or this is too much. I want you to focus on the progress. The day that you got your butt out of bed and dressed and looking good and went to work and gave it your all, even when you really didn't feel it, because you've got maybe some really big thing going on in your life, like a personal issue that's just like soaking up a lot of your brain power, right? And emotional energy, but you're still getting up and putting your best foot forward, right? So acknowledge that for yourself. Like I want you to give yourself some, just recognize those things for yourself. So you're not falling behind. You're not falling behind. So and honestly, if you're even feeling that way at all, a lot of times it's my super ambitious clients that consistently feel that way and are challenged with that, right? And that's just because they've got high expectations for their life or for themselves. And so I just want to say, look, let's let's just trust that everything is divinely on time and you're aware of it and you're making progress and you're gonna recognize those what I call smaller wins because it's about the progress. And it's those smaller wins that we often overlook. We often overlook those. And also realize that progress is cumulative. It all adds up. Like before I pressed record on this, something that came to mind was, you know, tending a garden for farmers. And I remember when I was a child, we lived in the country and we had 20 acres. And my parents, I mean, when I say we had a garden, like I don't even know how many acres it was, but it was huge. It was it was massive. I wish I could tell you like the size or how much of the acreage that they had for all the vegetables, the potatoes, the fruit trees, the blackberry bushes. I mean, the bell peppers, the tomatoes, the carrots, the lettuces, there's the corn. We had cornfields. I mean, all of the things, right? So we had a lot of our land that was the garden, what I call the garden. But and my mom worked really hard at tending to that. And so what I was thinking of when I talk about progress is cumulative and it all adds up, I was thinking about that garden and how massive it was, but also that all the things for people that grow their own food, all the things that go into place to have to like reap the benefits of that, that there's some days where it's just weeding. Like you're out there and you're just weeding the beds. You're just weeding the garden, right? There's other days that it's about watering. Maybe there's not enough rain. So, and I mean, this was way back when, and we didn't have sprinkler systems. So it was about watering the garden during the times where the rainfall wasn't enough to, keep it up. So there's days that's a process. That's a cumulative win. All right. So you're watering the garden. Then you're depending on the sunshine. There's days where that's part of the process, right? And so it's all adding up. It's all stacking up to where eventually you reap the benefits, right? Eventually you get to go pull the corn. Eventually we're out there digging up the potatoes. Eventually, we were out there pulling up the carrots out of the ground. Eventually, we were pulling the bell peppers off of and the green beans and the okra and all the things. So all of the steps, all of the smaller wins, the progress, which probably in the course of a day didn't seem like much, right? But over time, it all builds upon each other. It stacks. I call it stacking your wins. And then you get the finished product, and then you get to harvest. So I was thinking of that because I was like, that whole process is really, there's a lot of labor. There's a lot of moving parts to that. There's a lot of days you do things and you're like, well, I mean, am I falling behind? Did I really make progress? Are we going to see the benefits of this that we're putting into this massive garden? So think of your life in the same way, that it's stacking your wins, it's all adding up, and then you will reap and be able to harvest that benefit. You will see the end result of that. So I just want to encourage you this week. I just really wanted to come on here, third week of January, and encourage you to say, you know what? I am not falling behind. And I want you to know you are doing better than you think. So do not lose your steam. Do not lose your motivation and keep going forward. Keep making progress. Keep stacking your wins. These are all building blocks to where eventually you are going to build the freaking life that you love. It takes time. It takes process. It's a process and it takes time. So don't don't lose your energy in doing all the things and making these small wins and this progress step by step. Don't lose your way just because you feel like you should be doing better than you are. Don't give up on that. I want to encourage you on that. And if you need to do the wins in the jar with me, join me on that and drop me a message, tag me on social, drop me an email. I mean, I respond. When you email me, I respond to you. Let's do this. Let's track these things. Let's go over them each week. Like, I want to know what yours are. I really want to know what yours are. Where did you make progress this week? What were your wins this week? What do you want to remember 8 months from now? What do you want to remember about this week that was good? Sometimes it's so easy to remember the crap that doesn't work out. It's so easy to remember, well, in January 2025, here's what didn't work out. This is what hurt me. This is what I was disappointed about. How about we kind of flip that on its head, okay? And instead, 8 months from now, what I want you to remember is what went right in January. What went right this week? What freaking blew your mind that was like, oh my gosh, what were your wins? Even if you consider them small, what is it about this week that you want to remember 8 months from now, 9 months from now, once we get to the end of the year? What are those things? Write them down. Do the win in a jar. Do that habit with me. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And if you want, text a friend, text your mentor. Like get your connection there to where you are celebrating your wins. If it's not, hey, I don't want to, that doing it, writing it down and putting it in the jar, not for you, just you're like, that's not doing it for me. Text your friend, text your mentor, find your coworker that you guys are like, you're like, full steam ahead in life, right? Do that. But do something to where you get to celebrate that, even in a really small way. It's really just acknowledging it. So find who that person is for you. All right, that is a wrap for this week. And I want you to really walk away from this episode knowing that you are already doing so much better than you think you are. So do not let up off of the gas quite yet. We're going to keep going. I'm going to keep celebrating the progressive wins, those building blocks. And you're going to look back a few months from now, a year from now, and even 5 years from now, and you're going to be like, this is how I built the life that I love, where I get to have success and fulfillment. So you are an active participant in this, my friend. All right, go make the rest of your week fabulous. And I will see you here next time. And I'll bring you some stories from the whole, American Express golf tournament that I'm going to tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully they're all good stories. All right. I will see you soon. Take care. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast. And I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the